Ben Shapiro tells native New Yorkers that they should leave New York City if they can't afford to live there.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up. But the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that. The history of America is you go to a place where there is opportunity. And if the opportunities are limited here and they're not changing, then you really should try to think about other places where you have better opportunities. If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then...
All right. Look, this is kind of a nuanced topic. I don't think we really tell people they have the right to stay. That's a more modern, like, trad conservative idea of we shouldn't be so rootless as we've become. Because like Ben is saying, like, yeah, people historically have moved around a lot. I think that's generally speaking pretty true. But it's not like now we tell people, oh, you shouldn't have to do that. It's really still expected. But people are kind of realizing more like, oh no, actually living in the same place as that your great grandfather lived in and your great and so forth. There's actually like some intangible value in that we've lost and that some people are trying to regain. And by the way, there was this guy who left a comment. I had said that I was kind of like, you know, this bad part of me was looking forward to watching New York crash and burn. And this ragamuffin guy was really upset with me. He wrote this big paragraph. I'm a lifelong New Yorker and American. I'm never going to try to move. I am from Long Island. Long Island is red. If Long Island was its own state, it would be soiled red. So to say you're happy to see New York go down really isn't right, LP. We are a solid unit and white people are here and been here. They are stealing this from me and my family. People are fleeing now, and you know how they pay for New York City. They steal from Long Island. They won't let us make our own 51st state. Even though we're detached from New York City, we're detached from the entire continental U.S. I live in an island off the mainland. You should not root for this and be glad because I didn't even have a vote in this, man, but they take my money for it. And it goes on and on and on and on. First of all, I gotta be honest. When I was reading this comment, I was thinking of that Cuffham guy when he donated to Kai Cenat and being like, I just wanted you to say my name, Kyle. Oh God, how'd you do that to me? Because look at this. I'm very disappointed in your happiness for this, man. This isn't right, LP. Stop wishing bad on the good people of New York. Just that Cuffham guy crying.
Thanks for the 200 gifted, nigga. Like, damn, that shit hurt. God, bro, I don't do nothing to nobody, bro. I just keep my head down and be in my own way.
That's what I thought about as I was reading this comment. I was like, I respect you so much, and that hurt.
Damn, that shit hurt.
You hurt me. Kai, I just want you to say my name.
Thanks for the 200 gifted, nigga.
Having said all that, like, what do you want me to do about it, man? The barbarians are at the gates, you know? Maybe you should leave or stay and pay for brown people to rob you and kill you. It's your call. You could leave, you could stay and keep paying, keep subsidizing brown people and hope you don't get stabbed on the subway, or you can leave. Like, I don't know, man. It sucks. I know I said I was looking forward to it, but that was more from an intellectual. I feel bad for people, and I hate that this is our life. I hate it. I've like dedicated my life to just trying in all of my impotent rage to stop this from happening. I'm sorry I can't actually stop it. Maybe you should just leave because it's not going to get any better. I don't know if everything has been fine up until now, but it's definitely not going to get any better. Everything is like you got to do it yourself now. You know what I mean? Oh, want to educate your kids? Better homeschool. Like everybody says you're a bad person now if you don't homeschool, as if that's just like the easiest thing in the world for everybody to do. When going back to like 1980 and earlier, less than 1% of Americans were homeschooled. And now it's close to like 7%. Because diversity is our strength. That's why. Anyway, going back to this topic of, you should just leave if you can't afford it. This is what I was saying about how the GOP, who Ben Shapiro is kind of like a poster child for the old way of thinking, GOP wise, is they don't offer solutions to the affordability crisis. They love to talk about it. But when push comes to shove, this is why you got Brylan Hollyhan saying we need more legal immigration. Meanwhile, Ben Shapiro laments that the left's attacks on white Christian men created in them a feeling that they're an identity group of their own with group interests. Oy vey goyim. Identity politics are bad. Now, let me tell you why Israel is our greatest ally.
It's not.
And let me tell you why Nick Fuentes is evil, because he's an anti-Semite who loves Hitler, but also identity politics are bad.
Just a passing thing. I mean, this is a growing thing, and there is a significant number of people in the Gen Z, demographic that they're talking about this. They're amplifying a lot of this. It's just bad information that a lot of people have. And they were infuriated. I just looked on social media. I'm sure you saw it. They were infuriated with Eric Trump's answer. And I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on this, and we'll dive into it further.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think that we can start with what's driving this in the first place. I think that one of the things that is driving this is the fact that for a decade or more, there was an attempt by the left to basically target Christian white men. And there's no question that this was true, that just in terms of policies were designed in order to disadvantage Christian white men, whether it was going after the Little Sisters of the Poor or the attempt to Me Too anybody who was, masculine in any way, the attempt to say that men could be women, the sort of DEI nature of all of American politics, the BLM movement, which is directed at the idea that there's a white supremacist superstructure. And in saying that over and over and over, what the left actually did is they started to create a feeling in a lot of young white men that as targeted group, they actually were an identity group of their own. And then now as an identity group of their own, they must rise up and lay low anybody who is not a member of that group. And there are a lot of influencers and a lot of political commentators that we've talked about who are fomenting this because it goes viral online. The algorithms, particularly on X and on TikTok, are very, very fond of this, I think, for a wide variety of reasons, some decent and most not decent. I think there are a lot of manipulations in the algorithm there.
Yeah, the people running TikTok are anti-Semitic, right? And Instagram and others. It's not just this is actually what people want in general. It's not actually just like the average person agrees with those views. It's all notorious, nefarious, algorithmic manipulation by, let me check my notes, what the Jews who own and run TikTok, Jesuit trained, the Jesuits running TikTok.
There are a lot of people who are perfectly willing to cater to this and then to sort of promote this idea. And that's how you get to this place. I mean, the fact that this was happening at a TPUSA event and these sorts of questions are the kinds of questions that Charlie Kirk himself was routinely receiving over and over. And it was clearly coming, as Nick Fuentes said, it was clearly coming from Nick Fuentes' side of the aisle. I do not think this is originally a general outgrowth of normie traditional thought. A lot of the kinds of questions that you're hearing here. And the vice president was asked last week whether Judaism was targeting Christians, which is an absurd contention, just historically and contemporaneously. Those questions are coming from a particular place. And the humoring of that particular place is something that Charlie actually did not want to do. Charlie actually forbade the involvement of Nick Fuentes and the Groyper mentality and white supremacy from TPUSA. Obviously, that door has been breached. And I think that's why you're seeing that at TPUSA. And, frankly, I think that the TPUSA could do a better job of working with some of the personalities with whom it is currently working who are promoting this.
This isn't, it's not.
Torba said, someone tell Dana that Halloween is over. I wanted to look at, was he talking about her mask? Yeah, she's not looking too human there. Judaism targeting Christians. You have said the actual truth. Charlie Kirk talked about that too. Didn't Charlie Kirk talk about a lot of the anti-white rhetoric coming from Jews? Or did I imagine that? Did I imagine that clip? Didn't Charlie Kirk say he had no choice but to step away from the Israel cause? Didn't Charlie Kirk say he was scared Jews were going to kill him right before he died?